busy builders now live, streaming miniatures.
All right. So I received this guy earlier this week. Looks familiar, right? So as I was going through the parts, here's the instructions, here's the figure parts. This was in there. There's a whole second figure. So we're going to do some assembly today. And then we'll get to painting on this guy. We'll probably kind of jump back and forth between some figures. So we'll start with the familiar. I hope everybody's doing okay and getting ready to start their weekends. Oh, hey, YouTube finally connected. Wow, there is a delay. Hey, Steven, how you doing? This way I can also show some of the differences between the 35th scale version and this one. I put the 35th scale one away just to keep it safe. But like here on the bread bag, it's got details molded in to accept the gas mask canister. Where on the 35th scale one you just glued it on. The same thing on the back of the bag, you've got more of a cutout which will fit the back of his uniform here. Same on the STG ammo pouches, or the magazine pouches. They've got kind of deformations on the back that help it lock in on the belts and other things. From what I remember, these fit together pretty well. Come on, you. We'll get the legs gluing together as we get the torso done, too. I just don't know how much pre-assembly I have to do before I have to start gluing things like the weapons or the other things on. I think, like the 30 Fisco one, I can leave the STG loose until last. Oh, I really screwed up that blade. I need a fresh blade. And we've surpassed 800 subs on YouTube. So that's good. That's equivalent to 800 subs on Twitch, which Twitch is severely lacking on. But it's also a much smaller percentage. There's more random viewers likely to follow my channel on YouTube, so I appreciate that. Everybody who's subbed out there, thank you very much. If you're watching this, it does not go unnoticed. I know I said I was going to be on last Sunday, but that was also the last day of my vacation time. And it just felt like it was going by way faster than it should have, so I just spent the day kind of getting other little ducks in a row. So, sorry about not being on. Hopefully the higher amount of streams earlier kind of made up for it. Alright, so I'm trying to line this up just right, because the back edge of the pocket here sits slightly proud. Alrighty. I like that the details are much more pronounced as well. It's not like they just took the 35th scale figures parts and made them bigger. They actually made new toolings and made things a bit sharper. Obviously different part breakdown. On the 35th scale one, the collar was part of the torso. A little bit of flash in here to clean out. But this also helps. Being the larger size, now the collar actually feels thin, like it should. The way it sits proud like that. And when it comes to painting, I will be using some of the guidelines in this book, but I'll be modifying a bit to suit the way I want it to look more. Like their way of painting faces, I think this was originally on a 35th scale kit. Could have been 120mm, I don't know exactly. But you can also tell some of the figures from the 90s weren't exactly sculpted that well. Looks like he's had a couple strokes. And there's some different stylistic approaches that I'm not too keen on. One of them is, I know we talked about dry brushing as the follow-up to make the uniforms details stand proud, especially on camouflage uniforms. I'm going to try my best to not go as stark as this, because I feel that kills the pattern, makes it very unreadable. So I want more of the pattern to stand out, so we'll be going a little bit more restrained on that. Then it gets into Napoleonic uniforms, but we'll be using this as a basis to kind of cover what we're doing. Hey, Almanacs. Oh, I don't know about gentlemen. Okay. How have you been? I'm amazed they were able to mold this as a solid piece of plastic without getting terrible sink marks. Go. So what's everybody else been up to this week? So I'm off today, work tomorrow, I'll be off Sunday and Monday. So expect streams on those days unless I say otherwise. So I'm not only taking care of seam lines, but you see there's a slight mold mismatch here, which causes an odd kick in the leg. course, autofocus doesn't want to help me on this. There you go, you see it? Right there. So I'm going to be using the X-Acto to kind of ream that out, too. First you get the easy stuff, though.
At Almanac said I am doing okay. Looking into learning how to integrate fiber optic lighting effects in a plane model at some point.
There's really not much call for fiber optics in a plane. The only things I really remember lighting up were some of the gauge faces, which fiber optics wouldn't be the best for that. Be better to go with a clear clear gauge cluster with the markings on it and backlight it. Unless you're talking about wingtip lights and things like that, then that becomes a whole other problem.
At Almanac said, well, sci-fi plane models.
Even then, they usually follow along the same constraints. Like Star Wars stuff, usually the engines were lit, and then maybe something in the cockpit for a couple instruments. But again, they were using straight up bulbs. You could use LEDs to do it. Fiber optics come into play when you want to do something like a Star Destroyer with all the windows opened up. If you're wanting to replicate those little pinpricks in that scale. I'm going to brush a little glue over this to make sure that's good and clean. There's another one I got to clean out right there. One model I wish Fine Molds had gotten around to that they never did was the teacher's plane from the Skycrawlers. They did the Sanka, but they never did the teacher's plane. Bandai did, but not in the same scale. I always wanted it in scale. Alright, I like how that's coming out. Usually the seams on these don't require much filler. I am going to run some Mr. Surfacer right here and close up this gap.
3000 airplane carrier equivalent sci-fi spaceship that I would love to add lights, kinda like you described for a Star Destroyer.
Is it a Bandai kit? The Hasegawa Macross? I know internally, if it's a Bandai kit, you're gonna have trouble because they're built like brick shithouses. They didn't account for lighting when they designed it, like their Battleship Yamato. When it comes to that, it's not so much the size of the LED, but it's the brightness and your power source. Like if you're going to run them off a 12-volt source, your 3mm is going to be bright as hell. If you're going to run them off a 9-volt battery, oh yeah, it's not exactly easy to light it. You can, but it's not easy. And the TV version didn't have a lot of lights on it. If you wanted something really lit up, the DYRL version would be the one to go with. If you've ever seen the intro to the movie, you know it's blinking all over the place. That reminds me, I have that version to finish up myself. The movie version, not the TV one. Good kit, won't be easy to light. Not saying it can't be done, just won't be easy. Is it in the Batroid mode or is it in the ship mode? Or Storm Attacker, I think they called it. Or is that a Robotech thing? I think it's essentially the same kit. Obviously different decals, and they supply parts for the ARMD version, or arms, instead of the carrier arms. That's the main difference. I could be wrong, though. There's some other differences if you really start getting into the nitty-gritty. But I think from a modeling standpoint, that's all they really did. I've got the movie version in both forms, the ship and the transformed one. Gotta be careful painting that. Did they really make that? I gotta see something here. Give me a second. I might have to take care while painting this, if my suspicion is correct. I can't tell. I'll just have to take care when I paint it. That way I don't get flagged for hate speech. Yeah, we're gonna need to put some Mr. Surfacer on here. I might switch things up here in a bit. Not today, but in future streams. I've got Isamu's VF11 with the strike pack to build, and I've got the Elent Seeker, Batroid to make. Got a couple Macross kits to finish working on and work on in general. My interests have many, many squirrel moments, I'm afraid. I need to see here. Give me a second, Allie. Good girl. You want a box? Oh, no, that's Frank. Hi, Frank. Thought you were your sister. Yeah. Hi, Franklin. Big boy. What, buddy? We'll have to play later, okay? I'll get your poof later and we'll play. Alright? Huh? Huh? Yeah? Meow. Looks like that's made to fit around the pocket there. Yep. Ah. I'm probably going to put a lot of the accessories on and go from there. It can make painting a bit more difficult in some ways, but easier in others. But just the way they fit in, it'll be entirely too easy to screw up a paint job trying to glue them on after. Okay, yeah, you need to come forward more. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, the only thing missing from the box, which I'm not going to complain about, was each of these figures should have had one of these. That's fine. I generally don't like using those anyway. We'll be able to drill and pin his feet. Okay, looks like that goes like that. Yep. Okay. And I'll use a much more suitable wooden base. Okay. Let's get his bread bag on. He even comes with a little cigarette to glue into his hand. And we'll get his shoes. Or his feet, I should say. Yeah, I did more work on this guy last night, though. I kind of repainted his base color. We're going to go in, make all the equipment a different green color. It's my first time attempting tiger stripe camo, too. I think I did okay. We're going to dirty him up and fade him down some. Should just lock on right there. Yep. So for right now, I'm going to leave his head and hands off. I'll leave them on the sprue for the moment. After I get his feet glued on, we'll get the other guy out, start gluing that together. And while these are both setting up and drying, we'll paint on the Vietnam era one. Careful here, you could remove the laces. There's some pretty well molded in lace detail on these.
At the model student 20 said hello. Sweet buggy up in the window.
Hey model student, how you doing? Yeah, it's a little sci-fi project I've been wanting to really get my teeth back into. Just haven't really been able to engage in it much, so we'll see. Now that I have the celluclay, I probably can, because that was my next hurdle, is the groundwork, and I knew that the bottles of stuff that I have wouldn't be enough when it came to the amount of coverage I need. Because I have to build it up to the level of the styrofoam and then put the groundwork texture on it. And then when I go to glue it down, I'll be straightening up the wheels with metal pins into the base, and that'll put them all vertically and have it looking like it's sitting on uneven terrain. And that was something I printed up a couple years ago. It's called the Cicada. I got the files from a friend who found them online. I don't know where he got them.
6661 said, what is this vehicle?
It's not from anything. It was kind of like a do-it-yourself 3D file asset pack. Comes with a bunch of other things in it. I forget the name of it. The vehicle? More like 1/24th. I was trying to print it up in Machine and Krieger scale, but it wouldn't fit just right. I forget where all these go. Give me a second. I gotta look at something. I don't even think he has a shovel. I think it's just included in the kit because it comes with this.
At the model student 20 said, cool, it's an interesting model to be sure. 1/16 bids a bit easier than 30 bids shows.
Yes and no. 1/35th you can get away with a lot of little things to hide stuff. Where 1/16th you gotta be more aware of stuff. Because it's visible. Like if you notice here, come on autofocus, play nice. He's got a hole molded into his fingers. That's for the cigarette. The 35th scale one didn't have that. I don't think this guy...
At George Davis 7629 said, hey all.
Hey George.
At the model student 20 said, nice detail.
But again, sorry for not being on Sunday. Even though I said I would be. It was just the last day and I was trying to put the brakes on it as much as possible.
At Almanac asks what camera are you using as overhead?
This one?
Mirrorless or webcam?
It is a, God, I can't even remember the name. I've got two of them. I want to say the 920? Give me a second. Here, hold on. Yeah, it's the C920. Just this one seems to like to lock the autofocus, and it really kind of screws with it. And it's relatively new. The one that's doing that is my old C920. I have noticed something interesting.
At Almanac asks C920, the Logitech webcam?
Yeah. Ever since I did the Back to Basics builds with all the do-it-yourself techniques, suddenly all the channels that were doing the AK stuff, you know, look how you can do this and that. They're suddenly doing DIY stuff. I know it's not just me, but damn, it feels like someone's watching me. I always feel like... Yeah, I'm gonna have to add his strap again. It's weird, I can only glue this in one way, but that's hanging the wrong way.
At Almanac said when the autofocus is playing nice, it looks really nice.
Yeah, there's sometimes I lock it and that way it can't refocus.
At the model student 20 said I prefer the cell phones for ease of use 4K with a 1080 zoom for each setting. They OBS are the ticket for me.
Yeah, just the Logitechs have other things that go for them for me. They're cheaper, and I don't have to rely on having them on me all the time. And this is just kind of in there. There's a clearance place near my house that every now and then they'll get Logitechs at $30. So yeah, I don't think I need this. I don't remember having to put the shovel on him on the other 35th scale build. That's my bad, that moved. If anything though, it would go right here. I just don't... Yeah, I don't see it. and it's not calling for it.
At Almanac said I have a bunch of Insta 260 link 2C webcams because I travel as much as I do.
And how do they work for you?
At the model student 20 said I get iPhone 11s for about $100 to $150, so that works for me. I have 3 I use that can cover everything if I want.
See, I'm not an iPhone fan.
At the model student 20 said with OBS they are so easy to use. No cloud, just closed circuit.
Yeah, I'm still not an iPhone fan, though.
At the model student 20 said I hate iPhones, they just make good cameras, lol.
Well, I know other people like Solway Studios
Background really nice, and the image quality is
uses a
but I think the image
DSLR
sometimes looks a bit too processed.
that he puts through OBS.
Model student 20 said hate Apple in general.
I'm gonna have a deeper look at the autumn dot camouflage colors. See if I can match up some stuff a lot
Said I
better.
love my Apple products.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna just glue everything together. Get his head on there. Get his hands on there. If it kicks me in the ass later, it'll kick me in the ass. I just want the figure assembled and ready. Let it dry. If I was able to paint the 35th scale one fully assembled, this will be just as easy.
At the model student 20 said DSLR they run hot and focus and white balance get arduous.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with the person who was in AV production when he says that, you know. But all I know is his work, they look good.
At the model student 20 said there ya go, everybody has their faves.
Yep.
Lol.
Well, I know everybody has their favorites. Just like model building, other people want to use the products that I don't want to use, and That's fine. You guys can do whatever you want.
Had Almanac said just get a gray card.
This face actually has some stubble molded into it, so we'll be able to do some fun stuff with that once we start painting the face.
As a model student 20 said I constrained by budget originally but ended up extremely happy with the setup. Small miracles lol.
Now, how do the iPhones hold up longevity-wise? Have you tried live streaming with them yet?
As a model student 20 said molded stubble nice. Had Almanac said were you busy giving them an unintended shade when you discovered the molded stubble?
No, I've built this figure before, so I know it's been there. And I don't mean the 35th scale one, I mean years and years and years ago. I think I originally built this back in the 90s. And I actually found another resin kit that I splurged on. I won't be able to paint it on stream though because it's borderline not safe for work. It doesn't show anything, but it's plain enough. But it's by Phantom Model Kits back in the 90s. A character called Maria.
As a model student 20 said not for live stream, but they run long periods better than DSLRs and it all stays in OBS, so I am not anticipating trouble, but we shall see.
Yeah, it's a really great kit from the 90s.
Really sharp and clean on this molding.
Here, let me lock the focus in, and we'll see. Really, what am I? No. There we go. Yeah, the details are really nice on it. It's a good updating of their 35th scale version. Just a couple little things I've got to add.
At the model student 20 said proportions are real why good.
Thanks for that. Whoever was commenting about the Xenoboard. I can't read Cyrillic, I'm afraid. But that's a me problem. Actually, let me try locking the focus at a particular height. We'll lock it there. Anything I put on the table will be out of focus. Anything closer will be out of focus, but within my usual work range, it'll be okay.
But the model student 20 said Xenoboard is really cool.
Yeah, it seems to have heated up a lot in terms of engagement. There's other people, I don't know if they're using AI to animate them, or they're using, I know one's using fluorescent paints. There's other people making videos on it. I just built it. I had fun with it, you know. Hi, Allie. You gonna jump up? You want a box? Allie, come on. Come here, little one. Hold on a sec. Allie. I don't know if she'll fit in that. Probably not. Come on. I'm being stared at by our little mistress. Yeah, the Xenoborg I did, I still have it, but it's basically sold. Or it's been claimed, I should say. I don't know if I'll do another one. Like I said, it was fun. If I do another one, it'll be further down the line. That's the great thing about 3D printing. Once you have the files, you can do it as many times as you like. But as I was doing the one I made, just somebody local reached out and said, hey, that's better. And that'll go in there. Because we still have one more figure to build. We got an extra shovel. Yeah, that goes in there. I'll have to wait till the hand is fully dry before I even try getting that back in there again. But I'll be able to get it lined up properly. He's carrying it more in this area here. But there's the first one. How did he change this? Oh, never mind. He just added the pre-supported files to the file. Alright, so that one is down. Next up, so honestly, this figure, I think, because this is what was on the box art too. I think this pose, the direction it was the image was taken from, probably killed its sales. It doesn't seem natural. It almost seems like you'd want him on the front of his foot here, leaning forward more. So, we'll throw him together too, and see what we can get going. Hi, Frank. Hey, buddy. But it has been an hour. So let me get these bags open. Then we'll take a quick break and come back and assemble this guy. And then, like I said, we'll get painting onto this guy. I want to redo the base color for his face, get his hands redone, weapon, start picking out the web gear more. Another one of these, more of those, some of that. There. So yeah, we'll take a quick break, get up, move around. It's good to do it every now and again, especially as you're getting older and a little heavier. And I'll be right back.
Ratpack_Norway just subscribed at Tier 1 for 35 months. They have been subscribed for 35 months. Stream Elements said Ratpack_Norway just subscribed for 73 months in a row. Pog Chan.
Rat Pack Norway, thank you for the resub. Thank you very much. We're just on a quick little move around break. How you been? Alright, so let's start building this guy. I like how that turned out so far. Oh, you gotta stop being sick. Yeah, I don't know how your winter has been. Ours has been pretty shit. We've had like 2 snowstorms and that's it. We're definitely going to be in a drought this year. Ugh. That's never good. Have you gone through and checked the dates and stuff like that to make sure you're not eating something expired, or? Ooh, yeah, I wouldn't trust takeaway places much these days. Now, unfortunately, I think I'll have to leave this one somewhat disassembled, because the MG42 fits under his arm in a notch. Different good, different bad. I'm fatter. I just got off taking a week off work myself. Thanks again for the resub. Oh yeah, I kind of got that Superman weirdness going on. Nah, I gotta cut my hair soon. It's getting a little out of control. Got that Goku spike going on in the middle of my head. I don't know. Sounds like this is repeating, which means I'll change it up to different music here in just a second. So, on kits like this though, you'll see how you've got this lip of the coat that he's wearing right here, and then it goes solid as it goes into here. You can actually... And also, this is due to the mold, how the mold comes apart. What you want to do is actually take this, because this is angled towards his leg as well. A lot of people just paint that a darker color. But you can take that with your X-Acto knife, refine it a bit more, and create a follow-up to this lip that'll look a lot better on the figure. The reason we didn't have it on this is the way his torso and his legs were done. there's a natural underhang. So there's no need to worry about that. See, this side has similar, but this is flush, mostly. So if you want to, you could go in and cut that in a bit. The most I would do is I would take this and cut that out more. But let's see if it even matters the way it lines up with his leg. Yeah, you'll be able to see it a little bit. So we'll go in, we'll cut that back as well. Just little things you can do to make your figures look a bit more defined. I got a couple more on the watch list. Some, I think it's Feldgendarme with the horses. I ordered I think it was a Delta Force operative from Frank. Kind of like a Black Hawk Down inspired uniform combo on it. It's Dragon kit as well. It looks like, oh, what's the actor's name? He was in Black Hawk Down, and he was in Dark Knight, he was in Armageddon, he was the shuttle captain. He was the bank guy at the beginning of Dark Knight that the Joker puts the smoke grenade in his mouth. That actor. It looks like the figure is based on his character from Black Hawk Down. So we'll see when it gets here. It'll be in a couple weeks. Just got to be careful doing this on thicker plastic, because one slip and you're hurting yourself. And we don't need no gore on this channel right now. That looks a little better. You don't need to do a lot of stuff. There's people who break out their Dremel tool and all these dental bits and stuff. You can. See, a lip like that, paint could do a lot easier.
So you thinking of William Fichtner?
Yes, William Fichtner. I think the figure I ordered is inspired by his character in Black Hawk Down.
Or Norway said just throw it on a grinder and it's fixed.
Thank you for that. I couldn't remember his name for the life of me. Gotta get these wrinkles lined up in the front perfectly. I think that's as good as I'm getting that. Oh, model student. I found the listing for those helicopter crew that you mentioned before. Yeah, those are live resin figures. goes like that. After I was able to see what they look like, I looked them up on the live resin listing. They're not packaged the same, but they are live resin figures, unfortunately. Alright, there we go with that. So yeah, the way... I'd have to see. But the way this figure is, I don't think I can get... I really don't want to glue this all together if I don't have to. The main reason being the MG42 has to fit in a notch in his arm. And the way that fits on the figure, I don't think I'll be able to pre-glue it. And still leave the weapon removable for painting.
At the model student 20 said all the ones I received so far, they all are the same type of quality.
I'm not saying the quality you're getting is bad per se. I would try ordering from live resin just once, or somebody who stocks live resin, and then compare the quality of what you get from that compared to what UFON is selling with the recasts, and you'll see the difference. What in the hell? That really is that far out, I might be able to. That just does not match up to what I'm seeing in the pictures. Let me get this on there. That's the toolkit. Let's get the MG42 assembled. But I'm off today. I will be back on Sunday and Monday.
At the model student 20 said you have to use the code to get prices. Their site comes up with no prices on stuff.
Sprue Brothers carries their stuff as well. And I think they have an eBay store as well.
At the model student
Sprue Brothers? No.
At the model student 20 said it's like they don't want to sell stuff.
Well, I think it's to keep companies like UFON from getting their stuff as easily. Problem is, they're still getting it. I know, it's weird. I tried getting on their site the other day and I got an insecure connection warning. I'm like, okay. The main thing I don't like about live resin is they don't sell stuff that's just like the common soldier, right? Everything has to be special beard warrior stuff.
Said, I can't believe they're not in bed with the fans. I got the same warning just now opening their site page.
But that's the only reason they don't really make anything I want. Because it's always the ultra modern, borderline not actually used yet. You know, bearded commando type stuff. It's never just the general stuff. It's all the over the top stuff. God, that's some nasty flash on that part.
At the model student 20 said, I like the welder guy, the first think they make him.
The welder guy?
At Almanacs asks, what's beard warrior stuff?
Everybody thinks that the special forces guys that wear the mirrored Oakleys and the high-speed helmets and stuff is the only thing in the military. When you've got to be doing some very distinctly special stuff to be even be able to grow a beard in uniform. When you're on that kind of mission and duty. It used to be they had to grow it
At the model
because they had to.
as a soldier kneeling with a welding torch and visor.
The Afghans wouldn't even talk to you unless you had a beard. It was first to deal with cultural things, but now it's been twisted into some stupid, you know, we're tough, we have beards stuff, and it's really made a certain section of the military just look completely asinine because of it. I'm not saying that the guys who do that don't know their shit. They do. but the way it's influenced perception outside of that
The model student
has
20 said
really
fashion
become...
statement for a while. Silly.
Well, no, it's like every beard bro is some kind of... You know, every vet who's got their own vet-owned business and stuff is some kind of beard bro. And it's like, dude, you were probably a fucking cook. Or worked in supply, you know? But now everybody thinks they have to have a beard and tats and this and that to be cool vet bro. It's like, no, you don't. And it's one of those things that I'm sick of seeing.
At the model student 20
And they come back with, oh, you're just jealous, you're overweight. It's like, no.
vlogs, we call them.
Yeah, the poser beard bros, exactly. And I'm like, no, I just know I've done my time.
Asks, didn't that beard thing start with the green beret modus operandi of fitting in and winning hearts and minds all the way back in the 1970s?
No. Because if you're thinking about Vietnam, it was not Vietnam.
At the model student 20 said yes. At the model student 20 said World War II in Africa.
Even then, amongst US forces, it really wasn't a thing. You could find it amongst British forces, but they were always a bit more lax. I'm talking about the modern era of it.
At the model student 20 said SAS grew beards.
Yeah, SAS wasn't American. And if they ever come at me like, oh, you're just jealous you can't grow one, I'm like, dude, look at my face. This is what I've grown since fucking Sunday. It just itches to high heaven, and I've got no need for one. Or want.
At the model student 20 said that's fair sure law.
I'm proud of my chin. I have one. Oh, wait. Did I cut off the... No, I cut off the right one. Okay. We're together enough I can see what the hell's going on here. Because this... Yeah, it's gonna ride like that.
At Almanac said you are talking of the Black Rifle Coffee Company type class of YouTuber graduates.
Yes, exactly, Almanacs.
20 said I hate a beard, makes me retarded itchy.
They are one of the worst offenders when it comes to me, big vet with beard. Look at me with tattoos.
At Almanac said
Whatever.
I am so proud of my chin that I have several.
And it's just getting real tired, and it's a thing in Utah still too. It's like, it makes you very tired. And I don't know why I used Grimlock as the beard vet voice. I just did. I should apologize to Grimlock for that. Alright, so what we're doing is we're trying to figure out if I can glue this arm on and still have the weapons separate. enough. Oh, looks like I might be able to.
At the model student 20 said 11 Charlie models has a beard, but Solomon is okay. He doesn't act goofy tough weirdo.
It's not everybody, but it doesn't need to be everybody. My main reason for not shaving every single day is 1, I don't have to. 2, razors are expensive. And 3, I'm a lazy fuck ass. So there. Yeah, I'll be able to get that in and out of there easy. Cool. I'll just...
At the model student
I'll have to save the hand.
hope they would engineer it so you could do the arms, then add the weapon.
It looks like they did. There's enough room in there. I just wasn't for sure because you've got the weapon toolkit here, and then you've got all this stuff here. I wanted to make sure I wasn't clogging it.
Said, wow, you would really pass judgment on me if we met in real IFV. What with my tattoos and beard and all. At the model student 20 said, neat.
It depends on how you, it depends on how you carry yourself, Yankee. Because my best friend, who is also a moderator on here, also has the beard and the tattoos, but he's not, ooh, let's put a 20mm on a Prius, you know? He's not one of those guys. It's that whole persona that makes it not standable. You get me? It's not so much the beard and the tat combination, it's the attitude with it. But one almost always has the other. Like I said, I've run into it a lot here, and they're generally the poser type, too. There's one guy in particular here who rides the whole vet train and didn't even make it through Air Force Basic. But he rides the beard bro train so hard that he makes other people believe that he is one. Not exactly stolen valor, but pretty fucking close. There's a difference between vets with beards and beard bros. See? Like I was just talking about, I'm old and lazy too. And you're probably not a beard bro. I'm talking the guys that think they were shoulder to shoulder with Shrek pulling spec ops in Afghanistan. It's like, no. Okay, this is the one I want. This is junk. Bingo, model student. Or like that, the one picture of, you know, the guy who essentially created what is known as the current Special Forces doctrine. Looks like an MIT math teacher. But you wouldn't know he was, you know, cutting fence and taking names. But let's put it this way. I've run into a lot of characters that make me not appreciate that stereotype. How's that? Thank you, George. You are putting into words better than I can. But I've not always been the most eloquent. Yeah, Mike. I'm talking about Mike. Or no, what's his name? Durr. It might be him. It's got just the picture of him grinning. Not Aaron Bank. Wearing his glasses and grinning. Just the most unassuming person you would ever think of. Oh, what's his name? Yeah, I'd know it if... There we go. Charles Beckwith. No, Charles Beckwith. Ah, damn. Or am I thinking somebody else? No, that's him. They might be using different pictures, though. Let me search. Hold on. Yeah, Mike Vining's the one I was talking about, the unassuming guy, though. But there's the Charles Beckwith guy as well. He's another one like that. But guess what I don't see on any of their pictures at any point? God damn. That's why I can't watch a lot of creators like that, because I don't know if I read into it too much or something, but just it's... Yeah. But he's also another one of those guys that's like Vinning, where when he's not in uniform, would you really think that he was doing that? And it's not just vets. I'm thinking here in Utah at least, it's not just vets. I don't know about anywhere else, but beard culture here has gone stupid, you know? It's hard to describe. It's the beard bro persona. And I've run into a lot of stolen valor within that beard bro persona community. Because after I got out, before my knees really got bad, I used to play airsoft a lot. It got me out of the house, got me around people around my own age, right? And like you said, the loudest ones are the ones that never really did anything, you know? The cooks, the supply clerks, or the people who had never at least been shot at. And they're the ones that go the hardest into that persona. And it's just really off-putting. Sorry if anyone finds it offensive, but it's the way it's perceived, and it just makes me not want to hang around a lot of people anymore. Had one guy tried telling me he was a Marine. He even had fucking Staff Sergeant stripes tattooed on his arm. What was I gonna look up? Turns out he wasn't. He said he was at the Battle of Fallujah. Saw his driver's license. If he had been there, it was either as an insurgent or he was 13. You know? I've just had a lot of bad experience with that. So if my comments came across as harsh, I'm sorry. But you have to understand where I'm coming from as well. I was going to look something up and I completely brain farted it. Sorry, everybody. No, we do here, unfortunately. It's sad, but the vet community here and the vet bro community is one of the worst things to itself. Okay, now I've got to go through all this stuff. I don't think it has so much to do with that. Because honestly, I get uncomfortable when people say that. It's like, to be honest, the reasons I did it were completely mercenary. I wanted to get paid. I wanted to get the hell out of wherever I was. Am I proud of what I was able to do? Yes. Am I proud of the people that I've met? Yes. Has my own outlook changed? Yes. But at the same time, it was completely for personal and mercenary ideals. And I don't mean mercenary as in, oh, I was special forces. No, mercenary as in I'm getting paid for my service. Give me my paycheck and let me do my job. I hate to say it. I looked it up. There are roughly, there could be more, there could be less. But between World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and so on and so forth, there are 15 million veterans in this country. And I think my outlook is also different because when I originally joined, it was back in '95. You know, I was one of the last ones that got the so-called National Defense Ribbon at the time. So you felt a little special even back then joining up. But I didn't know what the fuck I was doing back then. But then I joined the second time after September 11th. So I've been in twice, but during two very different mindset periods. The years weren't very different in terms of like between 99 and 2002 when I went back in, but a lot did change, both in myself and in how people conducted themselves. And like 90s, nah, beard bro guys would have never even popped up back then. But 2000s, with all the chest beating and saber rattling and stuff, yeah. But like I said, with all the stuff that I've experienced in my own personal way, I don't necessarily seek that out. You know? Like, I'm not one of the guys to put... No, we lost our innocence in 1941. Because even after World War I, we were still able, for the most part, to go back to a isolationist view. Did the Depression help? No. But we were still mostly isolationist. Even after that, we were still hopeful. But you're right. There's a certain self-importance of it. But Pearl Harbor is where it really all started. It hasn't been the same since. The family values just continued to plummet. You know, we're in this stupid 30-year cycle. Because look at the 60s, look at the 90s, and look at now. The exact same issues were all prevalent in all those times. Just now we have social media to really keep it in our faces all the time. And we can be louder about it. everything we're seeing and hearing about now in terms of stuff going on at home and different personal liberties, things like that. The same stuff was all over the airwaves in the 90s. But we were able to turn it off when we didn't want to see it, or hear it, or deal with it. Not so much anymore.
At the model student 20 said, "Yepper, the wheel keeps turning."
Sorry to be a downer stream today. Good God, somebody just beat me in the face with my own elbow.
At Almanac said it was when the constitutional rights and freedoms began being wholesale sold off in the name of national security, starting with the Patriot Act. At the model student 20 said,
That's different, Almanacs, and we're gonna stay away from that.
"Floor laughing emoji."
But again, sorry if I said something somebody might think is wrong because of my view, but I've run into enough looks like, walks like, talks like ducks that it's easier to spot ducks. You know? If you think I'm wrong, that's fine.
At the model
But
student 20 said, "You guys crushed us in hockey." Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. At Almanac said, "Not as a political discussion, just seeing it a natural reaction based on fear."
the problem is you really can't talk about that these days without it becoming that. So we're not going to discuss it here. Just like we're not going to talk about the televised event from, what, 2 days ago now? Not that I don't think anyone's opinions are invalid or anything like that, but it's just that can go all kinds of wrong ways, and I'd rather not have that. And if I lose subscribers over it, that's fine. If I lose followers over it, that's fine.
At the model student 20 said, "Gonna have to get some of these 1/16 figs."
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great figures. They've been around for decades. They're not new on the market. They're all over eBay. I guess what I'm getting at is, from my experience, yeah. Oh yeah, they're great. The Tamiya ones, not so much. They're a lot simpler. But, just in my experience, the reason I shy away from it is every time I met somebody like that, they start out cool, and then the other shoe drops, and you're like, you know what, fuck this. So, yeah, I tend to avoid that personality. Okay, so this goes here. Looks like, yeah.
At the model student 20 asks, "These Dragon?
Yep. And the Dragon ones are being reboxed as Das Work now, to go with all the TACOM stuff. I saw the Piper, Whitman, and Carius figures reboxed under the Das Work label recently.
Had Almanac said yeah, we best not discuss the anticlimactical final episode of The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, after that utterly brilliant episode 5. Winking face emoji.
I might look into it. Like I said, it's hard for me to feel comfortable there in that kind of environment, you know, and that's... I know it sounds hypocritical because I try and get vets in here, but never watched it, actually. I don't feel comfortable. It's hard to explain. I know it sounds stupid, but it just, yeah. If Ares was here, he'd tell you I've become even more introverted now than I used to be. God damn it. Goes that way. Okay. Like I said, I'll check it out if I can. Alright, that's starting to come together. Good lord. I'm probably going to glue his hand to his weapon, though. Because the way the thumb wraps around it. That's fine. Did they really do that? They really did that. They made the hand grip as part of the hand, so now I've got to cut it off. Alright. That's fine. Which means I'll be able to leave the weapon separate if that's the case. Yep. Alright.
The model student 20 said Andy's gone bananas with DOS work with Khaki. He has started stocking some cool deal stuff, but that stuff is way expensive.
Yeah, and Andy's hobby headquarters, I'm mixed on. I've been to his shop before. You know, my parents lived in Phoenix. He's an alright guy. I'd really like to know what he did in his business to get that kind of stuff to take off. Because that's some right place, right time level shit right there.
At Almanac said no turning back now.
Ah.
At the model student 20 said he's nice but I hear YS.
YS? Well, he's a businessman first and foremost, I'll tell you that much. Oh, you hear whys. I... Oh, I hear ya. Okay, gotcha. I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow stepped in and filled the hole that Stevens International is leaving. Okay, let the hand set up for a minute. Yeah. Like I said, he's a great guy. He's got a good public face. Every now and again I'll see something on sale on his site and order it. But I don't shop with him too much. Oh yeah. That's probably why he's done so well, is because he's been doing those trips. You know, his name is out there, it's recognized. Alright, here's the real dilemma. Do we attach the helmet or leave it off to make painting the head easier? I'm thinking leave it off. Ah, damn it, knees, why now? Yeah, sounds about right. I'm gonna have to take a break anyway. My left knee's locking up. Yeah, give me a sec, guys.
At the model student 20 said nobody volunteers to go to Kamloops Sepvel. Grinning face with sweat emoji. At the model student 20 said BC is gorgeous, my buddy lives out far. At the model student 20 said my other bud is on the island so sweet. At Almanac said some of it is gorgeous, and some of it is Surrey. At the model student 20 said rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Alright, I'm back. Just felt like I had gravel grinding in my leg. Yeah, this is the fun part. I've got to get that to fit into here.
At Almanac said welcome back.
It's starting to get there. I gotta remove part of the trigger guard too. I shouldn't have to, but that's the way of plastic models. Let's bring this all the way down to here.
doesn't sound like the knee is all loosened up. We can wait if you need to take a lap.
No, it's not that. Just I just hope I didn't come across wrong with my personal outlook on that. I think I pissed off Yankee Vet a little bit. Took it a little too personally. That's as good as I'm going to get that, I think, fit-wise. No, I get you. And it is something I feel strongly about, just... You run into a lot of the bullshit here where I am. So this is going to be fun. Because I got to put part of this into the MG, and then coil it around his neck. Me? What me? But you're not wrong.
At the model speed of 20 said whatever. No worries opinion SCH minion. We all have them like goops.
Well, I know. But what I'm saying is if you feel that strongly against what I'm saying, prove me wrong. That's going to be hard to do, though. Needs to be back like that. this is why this next part sucks. Because you got the hard plastic bullets that have to go over the figure. Yeah, just lately it feels like if someone doesn't agree with you, they make it their mission to make sure that you pay for it because they don't agree with you. I'm not saying he's going to do that, but I'm just saying in general.
The model student 20 said I wear petites a lot due to the fact that they are comfy and handy, especially fair camping, but I do not pretend to be Mr. Army dude, that's fair sure.
Oh god, I wish I could introduce you to some of the weirdos around here then. Do I have that too far? Yeah, the hard part is, with all this bending, this shit wants to snap. Like it already did. And even just trying to get it close.
At the model student 20 said me too, I get a kick out of weird at bowling on the floor laughing emoji.
I'm thinking I should just start putting glue on the bullets. Get it near.
Said Mr. Army dude. Sounds like a Temu ripoff action figure.
Google it. I want to see if it exists. Somebody Google Mr. Army Dude. I want to see if it exists.
At the model student 20 said he comes with Kung Fu grip.
No, that's G.I. Joe. That's different than Mr. Army Dude. And what was the British licensed version of that too? Action Man. That was the British G.I. Joe. So I need this to bite a little bit right here.
At Almanac said nothing on my Google search. At the model student 20 said there was Action Jackson too, I had some.
I thought Action Jackson was a Carl Weathers movie.
At the model student 20 said, haven't found Mr. Army dude yet, looked on Temu first lol.
I'm not using super glue because, one, I really don't need it flicking into my eye again, and two, the model glue can help bend and conform this a bit. I just got to keep the MG tucked right in there, just right. Just like that. I was hoping to get to some painting today. We may not.
Does the Mr. Army dude come with a beard? Squinting face with tongue emoji.
Oh, Jesus.
Model student 20 said they were Mego like the Marvel.
Mego's out of business, though. So you're talking something from the real early 80s there. Because Mego went under shortly after the black hole came out.
20 said, wish I had some of that stuff still rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
I am going to use a little bit of super glue right here.
The model student 20 said 70s bro. Had Almanac said, when painting those bullets, remember that every fifth is a tracer round.
I know.
At the model student 20 said I'm A-old fair.
I am well versed in the tracers and ammo and stuff. My old job, that was kind of my bread and butter. But that was more things that make you go boom.
At the model student 20 said I did tracers on my Sci-fi magazine.
I really don't want to have to glue this MG in place. I would be able to paint it, but it would just be a pain in the ass. I'd rather paint it separately.
At Almanac said what counts as an old MFer in the fairy tale country of Canada. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Anyone who remembers the Grizzly Bear Wars.
8303 said hey guys, I'm not feeling very well so I'm having an early night. I'll see you next time.
Alright, Ronald, thanks for hanging out. Take it easy, get better. I think Rat Pack's kind of lurking too.
Hope you feel better, Mate. Cheers. At Almanac said please get well soon. Best thoughts.
Ugh, I just crushed a bullet. That's not good. Didn't want to crush it, I just wanted to angle it a bit more. There we go. That's doing more what I want it to.
At Ronald McDonald 8303 said thank you guys, good night. At the model student 20 said 82 years is a BG lifespan and shooting for double that. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Okay. Darn it. It's for the better anyway. The thing I'm worried about is using too much glue and causing these to lose their definition. But I think we'll be alright.
At George Davis 7629 said night Donald.
Yeah, it even weakened the super glue that I put there.
At the model student 20 asks her face has me howling. Were 164 years unrealistic?
I'll be happy if I see you next Tuesday.
At Almanac said you're not gonna wrap that belt twice around his arm and start spraying on full fun mode? Most epic carpet burn in the universe.
No, this isn't going to be Animal Mother from Full Metal Jacket.
20 said rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Oh, you guys seen the videos that Nathan Fillion's been doing? Remember what I said about Firefly coming back? He's already done two with two of the original cast going, is it time? He's like, it's time. One of which was Morena Baccarin.
At Almanac said no, tell me more.
Firefly's coming back. What more to say? Hopefully Disney doesn't screw it up, because Disney owns Fox now. I'm just going to curve this a little bit. But I think you can just look up Nathan Fillion on Instagram and you'll see the reels that he's doing.
At the model student 20 said cool, I am always up for good sci-fi.
It depends on how much control he has over it, too. Now, if he does one with Summer Glau and Jewel State, then, yeah, I'd start getting excited. Obviously, he can't do one with Alan Tudyk. Unless Wash has an unknown twin brother. That's the best I'm doing with that, I think. I think what I'll probably do is put this in here and then adjust it from there when I go to install it. I'm sorry we're not getting to the painting as quickly. I thought we would. That's me being dumb. Ooh, my left ear just started ringing very loudly too. And then it stopped. Goodbye, hearing frequency. Yeah, once I get this all in position, I'll have to bend and twist that to match it up there. But I'd rather do that.
At the model student 20 said we're chatting all good plus I have never done one of these so it's good to see.
Yeah, I'll be able to get that to work. I just want to let everything on this guy dry now. As far as the helmet... I'll leave it off for now. These are extra parts. Could I use these on my tanks? Not really. Could I use the spare barrel and MG ammo canister? Yes. Just making sure I'm not throwing out anything I need. You go there. I'm just glad I got all the geometry figured out on Mr. MG Man there. That. I might have to carve on the STG a little bit to get it to fit proper. Right? Because he knows. Yeah, he's carrying it further back. Let me see if I can find one to show you. Yeah, here's the first one. Copy link. It's on Instagram, so if you have it, you'll have to watch it there. Let me know when you all have watched that, and then we'll send the second one. Okay, I think I have to take that entire site off. There we go. That's more like it. close enough, I think. Oh, and I forgot. So you watched that first one? Here's the one that makes me think it might not be so much bullshit. Okay. Well, this is for those who haven't. There's the second one.
Busy Builder send a link.
Tape.
At the Busy Builder 4071 send a link. At the Model Student 20 said okay it's time.
Now, not Summer Glau's got to be in it, you know? What about Adam Baldwin? Now, if he shows up, and does that guy age? Like, between the time that he did Animal Mother on Full Metal Jacket and Firefly, does he age?
At Almanac said now, if you were really a show-off, a fiber optic through the hand and cigarette with a glowing ember. At the Model Student 20 said oh we're doing it. At the Model Student 20 said gracefully aging.
Don't tempt me, Almanacs. Don't tempt me.
At the Model Student 20 said not quite Sean Penn. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
No, Sean Penn has not aged well. I don't know if you've looked at him lately. Can I fit this through the provided slot?
Said he looks like he's already passed. At Almanac said too late. The seed has been sown.
You're not wrong, model student. No, we will not be putting a flicker circuit into the base to make the cigarette go like that.
Student 20 said you do have Led's grinning face with sweat emoji.
Too small for LEDs, but I could fit a fiber optic up in there. It would not be hard. I could either drill a straight slot through or groove the outside, but no. Because all it is one fiber optic. If you want to get technical about it. There we go.
Model Student 20 said no.
Oh. I'm going to recycle an old round display base that I've been using for grass testing and stuff. for this one. There we go. Alright, let's set him aside.
Model student 20 said I'm a dabber with that stuff.
But we'll get to that on Sunday, on painting those. I'm going to see if I can at least get the face and the web gear picked out on this guy. Clear some unnecessary things. These are a few unnecessary things.
At Almanac asks unfortunately Ron Glass can't return, but should Alan toot it?
Personally, I'd say no to Alan Tudyk. Ron Glass's involvement in the story was done anyway, because his character passed in Serenity.
At the model student 20 said I'm starting to dig on these figures. Create a new collection, grinning face with sweat emoji.
So Ron Glass, fortunately, had been written out, so his passing doesn't affect it. Same with Wash, but like I said, unless Wash has a twin brother that nobody knows about, there's no real conceivable way to get him back in the show, understandably, you know? That's too light for the base coat. At least not in a way that wouldn't feel forced. But, knowing Disney, somehow Wash returned.
At Almanac said Alan Tudyk also turned into a leaf on the wind.
They could just Palpatine him. But, yeah, this is my first time doing Tiger Stripe. I think I pulled it off okay. I just think anything they try to do to bring him back now would feel forced and contrived. Even if they did it through, you know, say cloning or the twin brother thing. It's been too far.
At the model student 20 said Disney are great at cloning things. I heard that if you stay overnight they will clone you. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. At Almanac said with the same amazing explanation and justification, quote, somehow the Emperor has returned, face vomiting emoji.
What's funny sad, is when Disney took over the license, they made a big thing about how they...
Ratpack_Norway said, well, I'm
Alright,
almost
Ratpack,
busy.
take it easy.
You have a good one, busy.
I'll be back on Sunday if you want to hang out. they made a big show of basically saying, we're throwing out the EU that's been written since the 90s. We're going to start doing our own thing with our own characters and our own stories. Except their situation got so dire that they started basically going off the corpse of the EU that they had thrown out for characters and ideas, like the Emperor returning through cloning, Grand Admiral Thrawn, all this other stuff. And thanks again for the sub, Rat Pack. They basically defiled the corpse of the EU because they had no original ideas themselves on what to do with the stories. And the way the Emperor returned in the comics worked. But it was also more immediate after Return of the Jedi, within a few years. But the one thing that Disney did that they've never been able to recover from, besides me putting my finger on the wet paint there, no, in episode 7, they did not take the time to have, I want to say, the 4 main cast members from A New Hope have one scene together. All 4 of them were in the film, but they weren't written in a way as to allow them to have one scene together. That right there lost so much potential and so much goodwill, they can't recover from it.
At Almanac said because J.J. Abrams can't make an original movie, he can only repackage existing successes in shiny new lens flare-filled wrapping.
That seems to be a common thing with the culture he surrounds himself with. Because all the time, all you see from people these days, the ones that claim to be mega fans, ooh, look at my fan fiction, those kind of people. They can, nobody seems to be able to make anything new. And by that I mean, you get people, oh, I'm trying to be a comic artist. Look how I keep redrawing the same character from an anime for the past 5 years. Do you have an original character? Do you have your own style? Have you made anything that isn't somebody else's? Do that. And then come back. Hey, Hugo, how you doing? God, if I keep going off like this, I'm gonna have to do another put my money where my mouth is and start creating my own story idea that I've been thinking of.
At the model student 20 said it was malice there morally and therefore creatively bankrupt and big entertainment, that's why it's being replaced. Adrira Alpha 8415 said Ruby.
How's it going, Rira? Welcome to the channel. Did you guys just stumble across me? Okay, sorry, just checking up on something. My wife was messaging me.
At Hugo 0_ said Ralph IK Gaja Onraken. At the model student 20 said woot woot. Cowboy hat face emoji.
Okay, this ain't legit. We might have to take care of some things.
Adrira Alpha 8415 asks, can I get a shout out, man?
Shout out for what? Bingo, Almanacs. You hit the nail right on the head. And they started that because they don't know where to go with it. Did I watch Rebels? Yeah, I know who the characters are. Are they possibly still alive in this time? Yeah. But at the same time, they're going real hard on the member berries now. Now we're still just blocking in all the basic colors here. We haven't even started getting into highlights and shadows and pulling all that out of the camo. I want to get everything kind of set in first. And I need a slightly larger brush. Yeah, if you want shoutouts on this channel, you're in the wrong place. I'm a relative nobody. So this will feel a little action figure-y at first until we really get into making everything pop a bit better.
At Almanac said you want a shout out? Okay, ahem. Oh, UT. At the model student 20 said me too, rolling on the floor laughing emoji, the freedom of obscurity.
But that's also the difference, model student. You're a supporter. You've been here basically since I started doing the YouTube side, at least. And you've shown your support on your channel. So I will give you shoutouts anytime. But you also don't ask for it. I'm trying to remember what color my web gear was when I got it. It was new, and I think it was more of the NATO green variety. But Sunday we should be able to go full force into just painting these guys. I'll probably finish blocking this off stream tonight too, because I'm starting to get hungry. Okay, why is my doorbell ringing? Yeah, I think we'll wrap up the stream for today. It's been 3 hours. We built 2 figures. We got a little painting done. Sunday, my aim is to be up earlier than it was today. It's been a week, let me tell you. it takes a lot to get me to lol.
At the model student 20 said, I dig this channel, I learn a lot of one of phase. For me, dog walk imminent grinning face with sweat emoji.
But I have, it has been said that I am insanely negative at times. Oh well.
At the model student 20 said, Wayula. At the model student 20 said, rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the day though. I need to eat. And I'm a bit mottled out for right now.
At the model student 20 said, you smile.
Oh, I know I
Rolling on the
smile.
floor laughing emoji.
I smile quite a bit. But yeah, we got 2 figures started. Got this one restarted. This, I was not happy with how this one was looking at all. Anyway, so we'll come back to these guys on Sunday. Like I said, I'll probably block him in more, finish off the olive green, just kind of get things ready for the highlights and shadows. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for all the new guys. Rat Pack Norway, thank you for the sub.
Calling you negative. Just that your reactions are understated a bit.
I've always been like that. That's how you can tell I'm really into something, is when I'm not so understated. But yeah, I will see you all Sunday, probably at about 11 again. If I'm on earlier, I'll put something up on YouTube.
Model student 20 said,
So, but catch y'all later. Thanks for hanging out.